So hello folks, welcome back to the second video of today. Well, within a space of an hour or so, makes me giggle. I was at 100, now I've dropped down to 99 subscriptions. Yeah, never mind. It is people's want and choice. So what am I going to do now? Well, as promised, we were going to work on this figure here. So first of all, I'm going to do the mail and metal work. So it involves washers, so it will take a bit of time for things to dry when it comes to the wash. But yeah, so first things first, I'm going to use the Foundry gunmetal triad. So I shall dry brush first the mail. So the mail is mainly on the wounded knight. So what we'll do is just dry brush, not extremely lightly, but lightly-ish, if that makes good sense, on where the mail is. I'm doing this before I do the base because 9 out of 10 times you're going to catch the base while doing this. A bit more of that on here. You probably can't see it very well because this is a very dull metal colour. I am at it quite lightly. Like I say, this is a figure from Foundry, just been re-released. They were initially part of the feudal range from Citadel quite a while back. So I'll do all the solid metal stuff shortly, but I shall work on the mail bits first. There's a reason for that, and you'll see shortly. So that's gunmetal 104A. Then we're bringing that 104B. So a bit of this on here, a bit of dry brushing. There we go. Right, not all the way, just picking out the higher areas of the mail, starting to give it some definition where there's bends and bits like that. There you go, you'll probably see that a bit better now. So that's B. Here we go with C. Top of the shoulder, back of the hand, forearm, elbow, shoulder area, forearm, hand, towards the tip of the nail down there, shin, top of the foot, chin. It's very, very light, this. Foot, calf, you can just get in there. So a little bit there I need to pick out. So I hope you can all see. So that's the male, nearly done. So what I'm going to do now is open up that, get onto my wet palette. Foundry gunmetal shade, which is Foundry 104A. So a little bit of water into that. So the helmet of the retainer, or whatever you want to call him, is painted. Steady, try not to touch or get it on anything else, but it sort of doesn't matter because we'll be painting over everything around it. But you teach yourself to paint tidily, it will come with time, but if you're new to painting or relatively new to painting, like I say, it's just trying to keep it tidy, doing the bit that you need to do. Sometimes even I make mistakes, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So that's the helmet all filled in. Then there's these pieces on the knee, which is on the padding, which is something you don't see very often on figures, but it's actually true. Started to come in. So there we go. That's that one there. Don't think there's anything else solidly metal that needs doing. So we'll just let that stand a short while. Make sure I've got everything. There's a little bit there that needs to come further down with the metal. There we go, that's better. So here we go, look. So we'll just wait for that to dry a little bit better. And what we're going to do after that is wash the entire metal with that. Now this is the old norm oil, so it still dries flat matte. I prefer it. I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy using the new type of them. I don't know at all yet. So just give this a bit of a shake. Make sure it's mixed all right. There we go. I'm going to put this on the wet palette. I mean, my wet palette's not exactly, exactly saturated, so it's not so bad. So here we go. On the helm, it's just got the base colour on, and the knee pads. Right, so it's just a case of going it on the mail now. Just spread it over thinly so it just re-picks out the definition of the mail. You'll tend to find the way I've done this, you shouldn't have to. I can't say you definitely won't, but you shouldn't have to if you've done it right. Re-highlight the mail. So there we go, that's that bit. Just waiting for the solid metal pieces to dry, and then we'll do the next bit. So like I say, folks, I'm not meant to be teaching anybody to suck eggs. It's just the way I paint stuff. It may or may not be useful to yourselves. But I hope it helps some people. Like I say, I don't claim to be the best painter out there. I just want to help people or show people how I do things. So there we go. I think that's not far off being dry. So what we're going to do now is go back to the gunmetal shade from Foundry. I will be using my wet palette for this. And all we're going to do is go back over that metal, but not fully. Cover the mail. Well, the plate, sorry. The helmet, etc. So we'll do the metal knee guards. Now, small crescent over the top. And leave the crescent come down a fraction to the bottom bit. You won't be able to see it, but there is a dark bit below the crescent. Touch the top of there and towards the bottom. Right, the helmet. I tend to spin the figure around. So trying to get a steady hand. We're from not quite the bottom. Work back to the crown of this helmet. There you go. And what I'm going to do is as small a line as possible around the edge here at the bottom of the helm. There you go. So that's that. Next one, back up to gunmetal B. If you wonder what rattles, I've actually put some of those mixing ball bearings in. Make sure they're the ones that don't rust. I tend to get mine from Warlord Games. So a bit of that on there. Touch of water in it again just to thin it slightly. Back to the knee guard. not as big a crescent at the top this time. Bottom, drag it down from the middle. Just a small dot there, from middle to bottom. So that's a bit of plate done there. Same technique on the helmet as before, but not as far down. Same technique, very fine line where you can along bottom. Doesn't matter if this line is what I would call a little bit broken, it's not a constant line all the way through, or round should I say. It just gives that edge look to the model. There you go. Coming on. And then finally, gunmetal seat. Now the reason why I don't use pure chainmail and things like that is because historically they would be oiled or not as highly polished as you would see on reenactors nowadays. They keep them clean, don't get me wrong. Oh, sorry about that, folks. But they weren't highly polished. Not that, to my knowledge of anyway. So it's the reason why I do what I do. Anyway, back onto the knee pads. Even smaller touch to the top, down to the bottom. Small touch and then down on the bottom again. The helm, quite a lot less, sort of towards the crown more than anything else. And then all I'm going to do is as fine a line as possible around the front end of the helmet and of course the face. Well, not a major league problem. I'll be covering that up in a bit. So there you go, folks. Gives you that bit there done. Now, if you want to keep it tidy, you don't have to do this. So you know where you are with your figure. That bit where I've caught the face, I shall just re-black it out. It says when they can get some black out, they drop a bit. Too much now because I've had to squeeze it too hard to get some out. It's the only problem with these dropper pipettes. It can be quite awkward for that. So all I'm going to do then is just black that out where I've got it. If you want to, we've caught other bits. Go around blacking them out. I'm probably going to do that just so you can see. There's also a bit down here that's not been covered by undercoat, which means I can now make sure it's blacked out, ready for the next bit. There's this hand here where I've caught stuff. I mean, you don't have to do this, I'm just doing it just to show you, So there we go. Obviously, over the back here, where we've caught the gambison, surcoat on the guy here. The belt for holding the scabbard on the knight. Bottom part of the surcoat. Yeah, I always try to add a bit of water to this stage otherwise your black can go on a bit thick. I suppose that doesn't really matter, but you'll lose the smoothness of the paint. So there we go, folks. That's all that touched up. Oh, there's a little bit there. There you go, folks. So that's that bit done. So there you go. That's the mail and the steel done. Okay, catch you all later. Bye.